been revealed that Lewis Hamilton's opening Grand Prix with his time at Ferrari have been at a disadvantage to that of his teammate Charles Leclerc, and is all to do with the SF-25 he's driving. Now, apparently there is a specific part on Hamilton's SF-25 which has failed over these opening 3 rounds, and it's put him at a disadvantage to that of his teammate Charles Leclerc across all 3 Grand Prix. Now, if you don't take my word, just listen to Hamilton himself.
On our side of the garage, we have a bit of a problem with our floor, and that's something that's been there for the first 3 races. So
that is a major revelation to come out of this Japanese Grand Prix weekend. That is something that really wouldn't fill you with confidence with, particularly if you're Lewis Hamilton or his fans, or even just the team collectively as a whole, because that really shouldn't be happening at any point in a Formula One season, particularly one at the beginning of a season, because you've just created, designed and manufactured and tested all of these parts, so they should be up to specification, up to standard, and that is not the case seemingly. Now, of course, how big of a margin and deficit is Lewis Hamilton at to his teammate of Leclerc? Well, apparently, according to Hamilton, it is just a 1/10 of a second. Now, while that may not seem like a huge amount of lap time to be given up, and I would agree with people that believe that, particularly on a 1-lap qualifying situation, that is not the case when we go into a Grand Prix situation, because for example, if we take Japan, over a 52-lap race as it was this weekend, or 53, that means you're giving up over 5 seconds of lap time over your teammate that you cannot have any say on. And of course, across a Grand Prix, you're going to be even further behind of where you should have been on the racetrack, because you have pit stops, undercuts, overcuts, overtakes. That 1/10 of a second is going to put you further and further out of your natural window of a pit stop, and you might not be able to extract the full performance of a tyre on your outlap and do the undercut that you wanted to do on your nearest rival. And as such, that is going to put you further and further behind where you likely would have finished had that part not failed on Hamilton's SF-25. And that is where the big issue begins to start to reveal itself. This is a thing that is going to dramatically affect a Grand Prix rather than in qualifying. You can live with a 1/10 of a second deficit to your teammate. Now, it really does put into perspective what Hamilton achieved in China that weekend, particularly in the sprint qualifying and sprint race. To do what he did, knowing now that he's had a car which is inferior to that of Leclerc, is very impressive. But before we go any further, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you that have subscribed, watch, comment on my videos that I have here on the F1 Unraveled channel. I greatly appreciate it. And of course, if you want to join in on that fun, do hit the subscribe button down below and join me on my journey to 20,000 subs. Right, let's get back on with this video. Now, of course, we have to look to the other side of this aspect, and there is multiple questions and layers to this issue. Number 1, when did it happen? Number 2, why did the team not realize this earlier? Number 3, why haven't they manufactured a replacement part for that particular part of Hamilton's car? Now, I think some of those answers to these questions have to do with the upgrade Ferrari are bringing to this week's Bahrain Grand Prix. I think, as we all know, it's a brand new floor that they're bringing to the SF-25. And so probably, and quite rightly so, in Ferrari's mind, they thought there is no point in manufacturing a part of the car which is now outdated. We would rather just live with the issue for the 3 races we have until that new floor comes for Bahrain. And I would agree with that. But the real issue that I have with this whole situation is one of this. Now, you've had pre-season testing to put all of the cars and all of the parts within your cars through their stresses to the maximum of your capability, and you would have hoped that you would have found these issues out before you go racing. Now, it may be the case of it's a freak accident and it's something really they could have no physical impact or bearing on it in terms of them doing something to make sure it didn't happen. It may have been something where they went over a curb a bit too aggressively. It broke this particular part of the floor or whatever it is. It's either the floor, I'm guessing, or the rear suspension. And as such, there's nothing you can do with it and you have to live with it. So that is just an unfortunate set of circumstances that have seemed to have befallen Hamilton's opening couple of races in his time at Ferrari. Now, I want to turn our attention to this upgraded floor that we're going to be getting on Hamilton and Leclerc's SF-25 this upcoming weekend. Now, if we take Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Fred Vasseur, when they're speaking about this upgrade, we are getting completely different viewpoints from all three of these people. Lewis Hamilton is talking about it as if it is going to give him the 10th of the second back that he's at a deficit of to Charles Leclerc. While Leclerc is saying this is a part which we've been having ready and produced and it's an upgrade part for this particular car. Then we have Fred Vasseur really confusingly going completely against both of what his drivers are saying, where this is a part that is going to fix the current issues with the SF-25. So what exactly is this bloody upgraded floor going to be? Is it a fix for the issues? Is it an upgrade for the car where it's going to make the car go quicker but still have the issues that it has without this upgrade? Or is it going to just fix Hamilton's 1/10 of a second? Having three different kind of statements come back at you through the media, through post-race interviews and other kind of publications really confuses the whole situation. And again, it doesn't leave you with confidence of where Ferrari are looking to go. Because Fred Vasseur again was saying, we had a 6/10 of a deficit to the quickest car last season and we managed to claw that back over the rest of the season. Yes, you did, but did you win anything? No, you didn't. Now you're in the same boat once again at the beginning of this season, albeit with a more smaller deficit, maybe half of what you had to that of last season. But again, I do not like and I don't understand how these things keep happening. And it seems it's only with Ferrari where you have an issue of they can end a season with arguably the quickest or equally quickest car at the end of 2024. But then in the off-season, you begin the season further behind where you were at the end of the previous one. How does that happen? And it seems to only happen with Ferrari. All the other teams, theoretically speaking, seem to have gone forward, while maybe Red Bull have stagnated and stayed where they were in relative position terms to that of their performance at the end of last season. So yeah, there is much to go over and for Ferrari to kind of fix, both internally, operationally wise and track wise, because I think they're just not optimizing their weekends as a result of all of these issues. So yeah, that is the revelation that came out of yesterday, and I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you have, do of course leave a like on this video, share it with all the socials that you're on, and of course if you're new and have enjoyed the content, do hit that subscribe button down below. Alright everyone, I'll see you all later on this week with some more Formula 1 videos. See you all then.